In this video, we're going to talk about the amazing plum tree. Now, we all know and love the delicious fruit, right? But it has this surprisingly rich story that connects everything from our own backyard gardens to ancient traditions all around the globe. So let's peel back the layers. So let's jump right in. We're going to cover pretty much everything. You know what the tree looks like, how you can actually grow one, and even its fascinating role in folklore. Here's a quick look at our roadmap for this video. First, we'll get to know the tree itself. Then we'll trace its journey across the world. After that, we'll get into how you can grow your own, explore some folklore, and wrap it all up with some really fun facts. Let's start with the basics. Alright, first up, let's get properly acquainted with the plum tree itself. You know, the plum tree is a seriously impressive sight. While most gardeners keep them pruned to about 5 or 6 meters, they can actually shoot up to 12 meters tall if you just let them grow wild. The fruit itself is technically called a drupe, which is just a fancy word for any fruit with a single hard stone in the middle. You can also spot one by its leaves. They've got these toothed edges and can be anything from a bright green to a really deep reddish purple. Now, what's really interesting is how easily you can mistake a plum tree for its close cousin, the cherry tree. But if you know what to look for, the details give it away. A plum tree's bark is dark and rough, not like the cherry's smoother bark that has those horizontal lines. Even the flowers are different. Plum blossoms have these nice rounded petals and a really strong sweet smell, while cherry blossoms have a tiny little split at the tip of the petal and almost no scent at all. The plum tree's year is kind of like a 4-act play. It kicks off in early spring with this huge explosion of beautiful blossoms. Then, as the flowers fall, the green leaves pop out, setting the stage for summer, which is of course when the fruit starts to ripen. The grand finale is in the autumn, when the leaves turn these brilliant shades of yellow, orange, and red before they finally drop. Have you ever looked at a tree and just wondered, how old are you? Well, for a plum tree, there's actually a pretty simple trick to get a rough idea. You just grab a measuring tape, wrap it around the trunk, and get the circumference in centimeters. Then, divide that number by 2.54, and boom, you've got a pretty good estimate of the tree's age in years. It's a really neat way to get to know the trees in your neighborhood a little bit. Okay, next up, let's take a look at how this humble fruit basically became a global superstar. So, our relationship with plums, it goes way, way back, thousands of years. In fact, archaeological finds show that plums were one of the very first fruits that humans ever decided to domesticate and grow on purpose. And from those ancient beginnings, the plum has become a favorite all over the world. Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale, in 2023 alone, global production hit a staggering 12.5 million tons. That is a lot of plums. And when you look at where all those plums are coming from, one country just completely dominates. China is the undisputed champion, producing nearly 7 million tons. That is more than half of the entire world supply, all from one country. Just incredible. So, after hearing all that, are you maybe thinking about growing one of these amazing trees for yourself? Well, good news, it's probably easier than you think. Okay, finding the perfect spot is step one. Plum trees are total sun lovers, so they need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sun every day. They also like well-drained, loamy soil and to be kept consistently moist. Now, here's a key tip. Hold off on the fertilizer until your tree actually starts giving you fruit. Oh, and definitely remember to check if the variety you picked needs a pollinator partner nearby. Once you've got your spot picked out, planting it is pretty straightforward. You'll want to dig a nice, generous hole, gently loosen up the tree's roots, and place it inside. After you've filled a hole back in with soil, give it a really good long drink of water to help everything settle. A final layer of mulch around the base is a great idea too. It helps keep moisture in and weeds out. You see, a plum tree is so much more than just a source of fruit. It's a living ecosystem, and it's absolutely steeped in cultural stories and all kinds of meanings. But, you know, it's not always easy being a plum tree. Gardeners have to keep an eye out for a few common pests. You've got aphids that can make the leaves curl up, and then there's the plum sawfly and the curculio beetle, whose larvae can burrow right into the fruit, which can potentially ruin an entire crop. It's not all bad news, though. The plum tree is also a great friend to local wildlife. It's a really important food source for the caterpillars of several kinds of moths, like the November moth and the willow beauty. So it's a valuable part of the whole garden ecosystem. And beyond the garden, the plum tree holds some really deep cultural meaning. For centuries, people have seen it as a tree with protective qualities, which led to all this folklore that describes it as a powerful guardian against evil. This symbolism is especially powerful in East Asia. In China, for instance, the plum blossom is a huge symbol of hope and resilience, mostly because it has the guts to bloom in the cold of late winter. And in Japan, it represents elegance and is often planted in the northeast corner of a garden, a direction that's traditionally associated with evil to act as a protective charm. Alright, to wrap things up, let's fire off a few quick, surprising facts that you might not know about the good old plum. Let's do a quick fire round. Number 1. While all prunes are plums, not all plums can actually become prunes. Only certain types have enough sugar. Number 2. In the Balkans, plums are distilled into a really famous brandy called slivovitz. 3. A little warning. The kernel inside the stone has a cyanide-like compound, so definitely don't eat those. 4. The plum blossom is the national flower of Taiwan. And finally, the sugar plums from that famous Christmas poem. They weren't plums at all. It was just an old-timey term for any small hard candy. Who knew? So, from ancient farms to your modern fruit bowl, the plum tree has had a truly amazing journey. And it leaves us wondering, what other fruit trees out there have incredible stories that we should explore next? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.